Welcome everyone to the Real Whovians cast 583. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Connor Farley. What's up?
Hello.
Happy anniversary, everybody. 2 years the Real Whovians cast has been on the air, and today is a day about celebration. Right now it's just me and Connor. Me and Connor are going to go over this big news that hit. What was the news, Connor?
Well, it was actually a huge rumor, but it's
Okay.
lots of substantial stuff to it. They rumored earlier today that episode 1 of series 9, The Magician's Apprentice / The Witch's Familiar, was going to be about a line from Genesis of the Daleks that went along the lines of, if someone held up a kid to you and said that this kid would grow up to be wholly evil, and you had the choice
Wait, Connor, you actually zapped out. If you could repeat what you said from the very beginning, because we missed the first minute you were talking.
Okay. Yeah, so there's the mirror in...
Okay, try again.
Right, the Mirror in the UK reported that there was a rumour of the first episode, The Magician's Apprentice and the Witch's Familiar, series 9, being about a line from Tom Baker in Genesis of the Daleks, along the lines of, that goes along the lines of, and it's a very, very famous line. If someone held up a kid and told you that this kid would grow up to be wholly evil, and you had the choice to kill that kid, would you kill that child?
Okay, so like you just zapped out again. I don't know, something's wrong with your audio, but what Connor just said was that we got zapped out was if you hold up a kid and you know that this kid is going to become like a hero or something when he gets older, would you kill that kid? Or the line came from Doctor Who, but that's basically the gist of it. If you knew that a child was going to grow up to become a mass murderer or something, would you kill that child? And that line came from Doctor Who, Genesis of the Daleks, right?
Yeah.
Can't hear you.
There's something wrong with
damn
that.
Google, man. All right. So basically, that's the whole point. The rumor is that something's going to happen where the Doctor is going to land on this battlefield, and he encounters a young Davros before he created the Daleks. A young Davros that is like a teenager or something like that. Hey, Jack.
Hey.
Happy birthday.
Oh yeah, to the Real Whovians cast, yeah.
No, happy birthday to you. It's your birthday, isn't it? Or was your birthday?
I don't think it's his birthday.
No, it's not my birthday, no.
I don't know why it came up on my Google Plus his birthday. But anyway, yes, it's the anniversary of the Whovians cast, 2 years. We're just talking about the possibility that Peter Capaldi, Doctor, will encounter a teenage Davros, and that will be the storyline for the whole year.
Yeah, well, I don't really know what to think about that, to be honest, because Davros is my favorite villain, and I don't know, it'd be a bit weird to have like a Davros, a stroppy kind of Davros that like hates everybody, and it'd be kind of weird for the Doctor to go back and because I think it's gonna be kind of a pointless episode because we know that the Doctor won't kill Davros. He hasn't done it before, and if he did do that,
we all know that's not gonna. He wouldn't do that.
Yeah, and if he did do that, it would change the whole timeline. So I don't really see the point in the episode, to be honest.
Yeah, especially since he told Clara he can't go back and save Danny Pink. So there's no way he can go back and kill Davros. That would be a hypocrite. That would be being a hypocrite.
Yeah.
So, Connor, is your audio all right, Connor?
I don't think it's my audio. It's something to do with the connectivity on this cast.
All right.
Because my audio's perfect. But yeah.
Okay.
So,
Connor, why don't you take over, and then I'm gonna have to drop out for a second.
All right. But on the subject of this, like Davros thing, I just think it's kind of interesting that the kind of Moffat is starting to take notice of the classic era now, rather than before, because we all know that Moffat's a massive. I think he actually hates the classic era. He did say in the 90s he did, but and then he kind of made up his mind that.
What happened, Connor? All right, we lost you again. All right. It's typical that it's the anniversary of the Whovians cast, and Google is giving us problems. So, all right, I'll try to. If you could chime in, that'd be good because you keep dropping out. I don't know why. It's to do with the connection, but um, if they did start the season with a teenage Davros, and he has to make a choice to kill him off before he creates the Daleks, and we heard some rumors, the Doctor, right, and Missy has to get involved, and Clara. That's just a rumor, though, right, Connor?
Well, from what we've seen from video from Tenerife, it's looking
again,
like.
I can't hear. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Jack. You know what? I'm gonna drop out, Connor. Maybe this thing's on my end.
Okay.
What's going on?
We're just having some audio problems, I think. But like on the subject of this Davros thing, I think it's just like really interesting that Moffat's starting to pay attention now to the classics rather than before, because like he's a classic hater. If you read back to what he said in the 90s, obviously, like he always used to say that he preferred Peter Davison's era of the Doctor over everyone else's, and it's like yeah, but I think this whole plot idea is actually pretty good, and it's a good thing to start a series on. But I just don't know if it's
Hello?
true or not. Oh, there's something wrong.
Connor, it's definitely we can't hear you.
Hang on.
You hear me? You hear me? All right, we're gonna have to. All right, he's gonna drop out. He's gonna come back then.
I can hear Connor and you fine. I don't know what's the problem.
Yeah, I don't know either. All right, so yeah, I'm kind of worried, like you, Jack, about them messing with Davros in any way with his timeline. I mean, if it would be one thing if they wanted to continue from Stolen Earth and Journey's End, but to kind of like screw around with that, I'm kind of a little bit hesitant. But we'll see what happens.
I don't think. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be a continuation of Stolen Earth and Journey's End. This is pre-Genesis, so this is.
No, I said I would continue off from there.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Yeah. This plot line is definitely not going to have any relevance to what happened in that two-parter, but I just think it's interesting that they're going back to the origins of Davros now, if it is true. And
I just hope they don't, Moffat doesn't screw it up like, oh, Davros, come with me in the TARDIS, and the Davros becomes his companion or something. I don't want any of that rubbish. To be honest.
He can't know that it's the Doctor because he encountered the Doctor first in Genesis of the Daleks, right? I mean, he encountered the younger Davros, so like Davros doesn't know his existence before Genesis. He can't like rewrite it, just like when Clara picked the TARDIS out for the Doctor. Like he doesn't know the Doctor before Genesis of the Daleks.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they're going to handle this if that's the case. I just don't want him to undo the writing of someone else. I don't want him to kind of hurt Genesis of the Daleks by trying to alter it before that. That's what I'm a little worried about.
Yeah.
It's fair play. Everybody can do. Yeah.
I mean, definitely don't undo the writing of Genesis of the Daleks because that's like one of the classic stories of all time. If he does that, loads of fans will be pissed.
But if he pulled it off, that'd be the greatest thing he's ever done. Because that's kind of like that's an important story in Doctor Who to tell.
Yeah, I know that, I know. But if he tampers with that in any way, like undoes it, like say Davros didn't create the Daleks, or that Davros became the Doctor's friend, then loads of fans will be pissed because that's been voted like the greatest classic story of all time, and it's been voted the best Doctor Who story of all time in loads of polls before. So if they do that, they're going to piss off. He's going to piss off a lot of fans.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah,
it'd be cool though to see like Sorry, what were we gonna say?
No, it pissed me off because I love Genesis and the Daleks, so I would not be happy with that. I mean, unless of course at the end of the episode he doesn't remember anything, Davros, that would affect the timeline for Genesis. Like in other words, if that was wiped from his memory and then he would remember it in the current incarnation rather than pre-Genesis, then I'd be okay with that. You know.
But the thing is that we already know the outcome to this. We already know the outcome to this story. He won't kill off Davros. It's just like I was saying earlier on one of the chats. It's just another testing block for this new Doctor, like what his nature is, his darker nature. It's just
I
like
thought it was. I thought it was because Russell T Davies was going to do that story in Stolen Earth, and he was going to have a little bit of it where he was going to tell the origin of Davros. And I thought that maybe by doing it now, he's just taking from Russell T Davies's original script, and doing some of the stuff that Russell T Davies would do, like Fires Pompeii, The Face, Capaldi. That was all Russell T Davies's idea. So maybe. All right, we can't get Russell T Davies to write an episode. So what's the next best thing? Well, taking stories that were not published or not made into episodes and just putting Moffat's name on it. So maybe this is a way for Russell T Davies to return secretly, where Moffat's just doing his scripts.
Maybe this Davros story you might see more of the origins of Scarrow as well, because the whole timeline of Doctor Who so far, we've seen what happened. We haven't really seen what happened before the war. You know what I mean? We've seen what's happened during the war in Genesis when the Daleks were born, and we haven't seen what happened before that, like before the war happened. So maybe it'd be good to see that what happens there, because the first Dalek story, it took place after the war was over. Like basically the Thals, that they swore not to fight anymore, and then the Daleks were there, and then you had Genesis where it was still the war was already 1,000 years old. So the Daleks and the Khalids and the Thals were still fighting, and then the Daleks were born. It'd be good to see what happened before that. Maybe it'd be good to see what happened to Davros, like what made him, like the accident that put him in that wheelchair. Because we know Davros, he's blind. He can only see through this like blue eye in his head, like a Dalek. And maybe it'd be good if like Moffat showed us like the accident, like what happened to Davros.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'd like to know more about Davros before he was this, this twisted scientist that created the Dalek.
You know what they could do? They could do it where he doesn't know the Doctor's name, like that's the Doctor.
Well, he wouldn't. He wouldn't, because
they would get
pre-Genesis.
And they get into a fight, and the Doctor accidentally blinds Davros, which, as he's blind, he's running into a war zone, and he destroys his legs. And then it's like something out of Revenge of the Sith, where like Ben Kenobi hit him with the lightsaber, and then he cut him, and then he started burning with the lava. Well, he's blind, and then he gets into the war zone, he gets his legs blown off, and then he's like, I cursed you. Like, in other words, the Doctor makes him evil. Like, he wasn't going to be evil at all. And the only reason he's evil is because he lost his sight and then his legs. And that rage confines his genius to create things to keep him occupied and basically create the Daleks later on. So it could be because of the Doctor that Davros is blind and in a wheelchair.
Yeah. I mean, the Doctor already made Davros kind of snap, kind of made him evil. Like, we gave him that speech in Genesis of the Daleks where he's like, if you could, a virus that can kill on contact, that made Davros basically insane. He was talking about, the power, the Daleks have power above the gods. And, the Fourth Doctor basically made Davros snap and made him, completely insane, like with that speech.
Yeah, it just seems interesting that they're finally going to kind of explore that line about if someone held up a child to you and said that it was evil, would you kill it? Uh,
Yeah, also Nider as well. It'd be good to see maybe like a young Nider,
yeah,
Davros's right hand man, and some of the other Khalites from Genesis of the Daleks, and Ronson and stuff. To see their origins and how Nider became Davros's right hand man.
yeah. I just think that having Capaldi meet Davros on Skaro, it just seems like the perfect story. But
Yeah, I mean, if they do that, if they if they show us Davros's accident and like they do that, that'll be fine. But I hope Moffat doesn't he does. I hope he doesn't do like an Asylum of the Daleks or something where like, oh, Davros completely forgets about the Doctor, or Davros becomes the Doctor's companion or something like that. It just pissed me off so much.
yeah, yeah. But if he did this perfectly, then I could. I'd probably never say a bad word about Moffat again, in the sense that he's ruining the series.
Well, if he made the Doctor a female, then
Well, yeah, then he knows exactly where he can shove it. But
yeah.
yeah,
What about classic Doctor Who releases? We haven't had like a classic Doctor Who DVD release in like 2 years. I'm wondering if they ever will release any more, or that's the end of it.
well, they've kind of released all the ones that aren't missing or partially missing. I think. I don't know if there's any that they're. I don't think they're missing any out from the kind of fully completed classic stories.
No, they're not. But what I'm annoyed about is that a year ago they released the trailer for Underwater Menace, and they've
Yeah,
basically cancelled it now. So we're not going to get a release of Underwater Menace. I mean, Underwater Menace. To be honest, it's a crap story, but I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it animated, and I'd like to see that other missing episode. I think it's stupid of the BBC. I mean, they're just cheapskates, to be honest. I mean, Doctor Who's made millions and millions of pounds, since 2005. It's more of a franchise now than it is like a series. It's like a huge worldwide. It's like merchandise everywhere, and they just couldn't be arsed paying the money to Planet 55 to animate the rest of the episodes. It's just annoying me.
yeah. I think that the thing about Underwater Menace is just a load of shit. I mean, unless they found a significant amount of other episodes that are kind of like Underwater Menace or other Patrick Charlton ones, I can see why they wouldn't release it, because obviously then they'd have to recompile all the episodes together to make the DVD. But even then, that wouldn't take that long, and it's taken what, nearly a year or a year and a bit now to even get to this stage. Well, and now we don't even know whether it's ever going to come out, because it's like they just keep cancelling it and moving dates around, and it just seems
Yeah.
ridiculous to me.
And Web of Fear, I mean, there's only one missing episode. They didn't even bother animating it. I mean, you know what? I wouldn't mind if they just gave us
Yeah, sorry
I
about
would. I wouldn't mind if they just gave us a special edition of Enemy of the World and Web of Fear, because there are no special features on that. I wouldn't care. I'd buy it. I mean, it's like the last release we had was Web of Fear and Enemy of the World 2 years ago, on the 50th. They should at least give us something to hold over our appetite.
Yeah, yeah, I do think that you're correct there, because you know, I mean,
And also, sorry, what?
I was gonna say it takes a lot of work to animate things, but I don't see why they can't just animate all the classics. Why they just have to animate a few where episodes have either been found. I wouldn't mind something that's completely been reconstructed into an animation, just as long as we get to see it in some capacity anyway.
Well, the animation isn't even that great. I mean, BBC are actually quite cheap with their animation. I mean, you look at their first animation project, The Invasion, that was crap. I mean, the animation for that was rubbish. I mean, it was just like the characters look nothing like Patrick Troughton. They walked around like cardboard cutouts. I mean the animation isn't even that great for these stories. I mean there is some good animation like 10th Planet and stuff, but you look at the animation for like Reign of Terror, that's just crap. That's rubbish, and they're not even bothering animating Underwater Menace and stuff. I mean, and also like this whole missing episodes thing. Like apparently a couple of years ago, you know they were gonna release Marco Polo. Apparently they're gonna release Marco Polo with Enemy of the World and Web of Fear, but they pulled that back. And I'm wondering if they still have that story, or if Philip Morris or whatever is lying, or he's just he wants more money.
Yeah, I just think that this whole missing episodes fiasco kind of either needs to stop being paid attention to as much, because it's just now starting to get to the point where everyone's hoping that something pops up every week, when realistically we know that it takes a few years at a time for such news to come
Yeah,
out. Um, or they just need to say, we're probably the likelihood of ever finding another episode or another set of episodes is pretty low, so we might just have to stop the search there. It would be nice if
yeah.
we,
No, I think they will turn up.
yeah, I think a few more at least might turn up, but realistically, I just don't think that we're ever going to get the full 96 or whatever back.
Maybe there are missing episodes in Syria.
Maybe Sammy Carter can just walk in there and get them all. That would be funny. I admit that would probably just be the funniest thing ever. But you know,
Do you think next year's story will involve a poisoned chicken?
maybe if it does, we know exactly who we need to thank for that, because he did come up with the idea. So,
It'd be great to like imagine Missy die by eating a piece of poisoned chicken.
yeah, and then she just regenerates. Yeah.
All right, guys, what's up?
We were just talking
Hey,
about missing episodes and DVD releases and stuff that, for the missing episodes and whatever.
Sorry I couldn't get back in, but I had a call, and then all of a sudden Google wouldn't allow me back in, which was weird. So I think we're gonna have to give Google a little rest for maybe a half hour and see what's going on.
Right.
All right, are you guys still talking? Did I interrupt you or no?
Not really.
no, he didn't. No.
Okay. All right, guys. We're gonna wait for this to get cleared up with the Google stuff. I'm gonna play it back and see if you guys can hear us. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but join the celebration all day long, where we'll have many different guest hosts and stuff throughout the day. Not sure exactly how many podcasts there are gonna be or at what time, so just stay tuned. All right. Take care. Bye for now.